If you're driving alone tonight, I need you to do something for me. Lock your doors, because some roads, they don't lead where you think. This is the story of a journey that went terribly, terribly wrong. In 2019, a woman named Claire rented a car in Oregon. Her plan was simple, a solo road trip along the magnificent coastline. She was drawn to the sea, the dramatic cliffs, and the clean, salty air. Her destination was a quaint, small town she'd never visited before, a hidden gem she'd found on a map. Everything started perfectly. The sun was setting, casting a golden glow over the landscape. The GPS was working just fine, its calm voice guiding her along the winding coastal highway. But then, she passed the first mile marker, and that's when everything changed. The GPS voice suddenly went silent. The screen went completely blank. Claire wasn't worried at first. She figured it was just a glitch, a temporary loss of signal. She kept driving, following the road that stretched endlessly before her. The atmosphere wasn't dark or foggy, it wasn't stormy, it was just wrong. An unsettling stillness fell over everything, a feeling that the world had tilted slightly off its axis. At exactly 9:42 p.m., the headlights caught something in the distance, a figure standing stock-still by the side of the road. It was tall and unnervingly slender, wrapped in an old-fashioned cloak that seemed to swallow the light. Claire instinctively slowed down, her heart starting to pound. As she got closer, she tried to make out a face, but there was nothing there, just an unnerving void of blackness under the hood. The figure didn't move, it didn't even seem to breathe. But when Claire glanced at her rearview mirror for just a split second and looked back, it was closer, much closer. A cold wave of panic washed over her. She slammed her foot on the accelerator. The car seemed to fight her. It felt sluggish, as if it were driving through thick mud. The brakes felt heavy, and the steering wheel started pulling, just slightly, to the right, toward the spot where the figure had been. Her phone, which had been silent on the passenger seat, suddenly rang, its shrill sound cutting through the quiet car. She fumbled to answer it, her hands trembling. "Hello?" No one replied. There was only a faint, static-laced whisper on the line, a voice that seemed to come from far away, asking a single, chilling question. "Why are you leaving?" Claire threw the phone onto the seat and focused on the road, her knuckles white on the steering wheel. A few minutes later, she noticed something else, something that made the blood freeze in her veins. Every single tree along the road had a small tag tied to its branches, and on every single tag was her name, Claire, written in hundreds of different styles of handwriting. It was on the leaves, on the bark, on every branch that hung over the road. It was impossible, insane, but it was happening. The car radio, which had been off, crackled to life. It was pure static at first. Then a voice began to emerge from the noise. It was a female voice, soft and echoing, as if speaking from the bottom of a well. "You shouldn't have come alone," it whispered. That was it. She had to turn back. She had to get off this road. Claire frantically looked for an exit, a side road, anything, but it was no use. The road had changed. The exits she had passed were gone. The signs were rearranged, pointing to non-existent towns with bizarre names. Every direction seemed to lead forward, deeper into this nightmare. Then, through the trees, she saw a light. A single, warm glow. It was coming from a small cabin, nestled in a clearing just off the road. It looked perfectly normal, almost inviting. A wave of relief washed over her. Maybe someone was there, maybe they could help. She pulled over and cautiously approached. The windows of the cabin were glowing, and as she got closer, they reflected her own terrified face back at her. But that wasn't right. She was alone in the car. Her reflection shouldn't be in the cabin window. Driven by a desperate hope that outweighed her fear, she pushed the door open. It was unlocked. Inside, the air was still and warm, and what she saw made her stop dead. The cabin was filled with her things. Her keys were on a small wooden table. Her wallet was sitting next to them. On the wall were photos from her apartment in the city. Everything was hers, all untouched. It was as if she lived here, except for one photo. It was a picture of her, smiling on a beach from a vacation last summer. But in this version of the photo, there was a figure standing behind her. Not a shadow, not a trick of the light. A figure, physically there in the picture with her. The same tall, slender figure from the roadside. She didn't scream. The terror was too deep for that. She just turned and ran. Back to the car, back to the only escape she had. But when she burst out of the cabin, the road was gone, vanished. In its place was an endless, dense forest of trees, pressing in from all sides. The whispers started then, carried on the wind, seeming to come from every direction at once. "Stay, stay, stay." The voices were all around her, weaving through the leaves, a chorus of ghostly pleas. Hours passed, or maybe it was just minutes. Time had lost all meaning. It didn't behave the way it should. She looked at her phone, and the screen flickered. It showed yesterday's date. Then, it flashed to a date 1 year in the future. Then, centuries ago. The numbers spun wildly. A digital clock gone mad. Claire eventually got back in her car, or at least, she thinks she did. The memories from this point are fragmented, dreamlike. She remembers driving, the feeling of the wheel in her hands, but not the road itself. Her next clear memory is waking up in a deserted parking lot. It was cold, and the morning fog was thick. Her rental car was gone. There was no trace of the road she had been on, no sign of the cabin, no clue as to how she got there. She was miles away from where she should have been, with no memory of the journey. She eventually found her way back to civilization, but she was never the same. The locals in that part of Oregon have stories. They say if you drive that particular stretch of coastal highway alone, especially at night, you have to be careful. They say you might see a strange light flickering deep in the woods, a small, isolated cabin where no cabin should be, its windows glowing with a warm, inviting light. And if you're brave enough, or foolish enough, to look inside, you'll find that someone is always there. Someone is always watching, but they aren't watching you through the glass, or from behind the door. They're watching you from a place where reality doesn't exist, a place just on the other side of our world. And if the watcher sees you, you might just get to drive home with a terrifying story to tell. Or maybe, you never leave at all. Thank you for joining me on this unsettling journey. If you enjoy stories that explore the strange and the unexplained, make sure to follow for more. Stay safe out there.